Just because you live in America doesn't mean that you're free. The only way to be free is within your mind. You must know that there is nothing stopping you from being free and from making decisions and from taking your life and being who you are. Life, it's not that difficult. If you want to do better, you got to figure out what you want. And once you figure out what you want, we have to believe in ourselves. We have to know that we're worthy. We have the ability to open our mouths and speak and to move our body, and we can pick things up and we can use our brain and our mind to think and to create things. At the end of the day, what is it that is going to allow a human being to feel like they are enjoying their life? And this is what it is. Human beings, they want to play. Some things will never change. What we want is to have fun. And that's why we find things to do like travel and explore. We need to somehow formulate our life so that way we can play. We want to be out in nature. We want to be out by the ocean. We want to be amongst the trees. We want to come back to, ourself, essentially. But the problem is that many of us have become discombobulated in this false identity of pretending to be someone that we're not. And the problem is that we get buried so much in our false identity that we just lose touch with who we are. But if we come back to our senses, our true nature, and stop being constantly changed by the world and learn how to change, be renewed, like the Bible says, renewing the mind. There's a certain breakthrough that must happen.
We must realize that we're in control of our life.
I run my own business. I can do whatever I want to do. You also can have anything that you want in this world. You have an amazing life. I don't watch cable. I don't watch the news. I don't watch Netflix unless I'm somewhere where they're watching Netflix. And, I'm not against movies. I like watching movies. I'm a fun person. I just prioritize better things into my life. And right now, it just doesn't make sense. You know what they post?
They, being the mainstream media outlets and powerful corporations, use their platforms to shape public opinion and maintain control over information dissemination. The elites, or the small group of people who hold a disproportionate amount of wealth and power, use their resources to influence public discourse and shape societal narratives to maintain their status quo.
They post things that keep us programmed.
To keep us programmed, the general public or the average person, people who consume news and information from the mainstream media outlets, and are potentially influenced by the narratives pushed by powerful groups or individuals.
To be subject to drama and chaos and murder and violence. It's just poison. Yeah, it makes us have instant gratification when we're wasting our life away watching and consuming garbage. I get it that the world, we need to stay in touch with what's happening in the world, sort of. Is that true? I think that it's debatable. I would debate on the side that says it's not necessary. It is good to know certain things. But let me tell you something. COVID didn't get past anybody. Okay, I don't care if you're out in the woods living. You somehow found out about COVID. Okay, so what I'm saying is that the things that we need to know will eventually find us. But we don't need to know the very next day that George Floyd was kneed on. No, we don't need to know that stuff immediately. What are we going to do? I live by observe, do not react. Just take a moment and think about that, because that will change your life. Observe, do not react. Think about all the situations in your life when you react and you mess something up, poison a relationship, or do something that you regret, or treat somebody in a way that you think later how you would have done that differently. Just live in this state of observing. Okay, so observe, do not react, reflect, and then respond. It's a way of being.
Changing topics. It's good to be precautious, but be careful not to coddle yourself and live in fear. Our diagnosis can be our excuse to stay anxious, depressed, have self-pity, and live in fear. We need to use who we are as our advantage, not our setback.
If I had been this child that would go to the doctor when I was growing up, I would have got diagnosed with depression and anxiety and ADD. So thank goodness that I never went to the doctor.
It would have been my excuse to self-victimize and blame everything else on why I am disadvantaged.
I didn't grow up in a family that like takes you to the doctor for a scraped knee. If I have a cold, I suffer through it. If I have depression, I get through it. I don't medicate myself. I don't numb myself with medication. I have suffered from a lot of things.
I have suffered from many things, moneyless, without friends, lost, lonely, and confused, wondering, what is my purpose? Is there meaning to life? Why try? Life is suffering, depressing, filled with anxiety, fear, addictions, and death.
But at the end of the day, you get over it. You move past it. I have been frustrated. I have been miserable. Okay? I have been numb. I have been depressed. I have lived like a zombie. I'm just revealing parts of myself. I'm not going to lie to you. I am special. I am the chosen one. Okay? And before you start getting all defensive, what do I mean by I am the chosen one? I chose myself. Have you chose yourself yet? Have you chose to be who you are? Or are you still living with this identity that is based on who others perceive you to be? When will you, or will you ever, embody the person who you are? That is a tough question, because that is what everybody wants. They want to be who they are.
They are the proactive individuals who have decided to break free from limiting beliefs and stop playing the victim. These are the people who are determined to grow, change, and lead fulfilling lives filled with love and positivity.
That is truly the only way to be free. Just because you live in America doesn't mean that you're free. The only way to be free is within your mind. You must know that there is nothing stopping you from being free and from making decisions and from taking your life and being who you are without apology. And now that is not as easy as just saying or being, because we have been programmed and conditioned by the matrix, by the 3D material world, the Maya, the illusion. And we have lost our identity. Our true identity is Emmanuel, God in us, in every cell. We are subatomic particles vibrating, and we are condensed into this human being that is the greatest creature on planet Earth. We have shaped this world. We have created things. We have invented things using the elements. We are the most intelligent creature on this planet. And there are a few families in this world who control almost everybody. That's why we have major news networks, to keep people informed, to keep us on our backs, belly up, victims, scared, in fear.
Blind, handcuffed, shackled, drugged and abused. None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, 1749 to 1833.
Living in scarcity. We don't need to live in scarcity. We can wake up and start to take control of our life. Start to formulate a plan so that way we no longer need to be victims, but we can start to create things into our lives. I am a firm believer in being an entrepreneur. I am a firm believer in embracing two worlds, the physical and the spiritual. Wake up. If you can blend the two, the spiritual and the physical, and learn how to have an amazing life full of beautiful things, beautiful home, a lot of money, being able to travel, being in control of your time, that's an amazing thing, coupled with an amazing relationship with God, incredible relationships with people. So, anyways, until next time, my name is Jeremiah, and I hope that you have an amazing day.